Hi there, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is now my third episode that I'll be posting. First one was the BMW in the accident state. Second one was when the car returned and myself or me attempting to fix the ABS issue that I had. And I left it off with the ABS warning light is off, but traction warning light is still on, and the handbrake sensor or the handbrake warning light is on, the rear handbrake warning light. I'll just show you quick as well what sensors it are and updates since then. I invested in, since the second episode, I invested in a launch OBD2 diagnostic reader. This is the CRP129X. Reason why I took this one was because above the cheaper one, which was the CRP123, this one can code the injectors, which the CRP cannot do, the CRP123 cannot do. And if you are familiar with the BMW diesels, the injectors needs to be coded to the motor, else you'll have like a lumpy drive. From what the forums I've read, people has had a lumpy drive, the car is heavier on fuel and things like that. So I went with the CRP129X version 2 because not sponsored, bought it myself, and it would make the channel a bit more interesting or easier for me, knowing that I have a car with a whole lot of electronics. Instead of sending it to someone to have the faults coded out or cleared, I can do it myself now with the launch. Yeah, so let me unbox it and show you guys what it looked like and my first impression of the device and look and feel and what I think of it. Just note that this is my first time using one of these or working on one of these. I've never owned one, never worked on one myself. The last time I needed something done on the car was when my alternator died or stopped charging my battery, and then I had to call a auto electrician to come and recondition my alternator, and then he had it Autel, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, he had an Autel, and he I don't know what he done. I'm trying to think now, but I think he reset the voltage on the alternator, if that's even possible, via the ECU to tell it to charge at a certain rate. I'm not sure, you can correct me. You can correct me in the comment section. But one thing he did do as well, which I didn't have done when I got my car stood for a year, and when I got it back, my battery was done. I needed to replace my battery, which I've done. But another thing why I went for diagnostic for myself, reader for myself, was you need to register the battery to the car, so that the alternator doesn't overcharge the new battery. Because as the battery wears down, the alternator auto adjusts the voltage and to auto adjust the voltage higher so that it can charge the weaker battery as it gets older. So if you replace the battery, it starts charging that battery at the higher voltage. So I think the OBD2 scanner reader, diagnostic tool, whatever you think it's called, you reset that so it can charge it at the appropriate voltage. I'm not a mechanic. This is all the things I read. I do a lot of reading online, read on forums and things like that. So what I know is what I read, and if you are watching this, you might have posted that thing that I've read. So don't shoot me, shoot yourself. No, don't shoot yourself. That is just bodily harm. Yeah. So yeah, let me open up the launch. First things first is, this is what the scanner looks like. There's a like a rubbery silicone protector on. You cannot take it off, in other words. I think this is a 5-inch LCD, and what else you get with in the bag is the, I think this is called the OBD2 port, if I'm not mistaken. Let me just check quick. What's in the box, isn't there? Anyway, yeah, you get this that goes into your ECU connector that's on different cars, different locations, and this serial port goes into the scan over here. So this is the power on, this is the plug from the scanner to the car, and this is power over here. I think it's a 5 volt to 1.2 amp input. And on the front side is your 5-inch screen, home button, directional keys, OK, enter, and return. And then you get your power cable as well. Okay, so let's power on the device. I think I need to put the ignition on as well. So let's check if we can clear the codes. This, and also with this diagnostic tool, you can set it to auto detect when connected, and if you have a workshop, you can enter your email address, your workshop name, address, and telephone number. So when you do send a report to someone or to yourself, it will have your details on the report that you sent of your shop. Okay, as you can see, it automatically got the VIN number of the car. I'm not sure what all of these things are. I'm really not clued up on it. DTCs in the ECU. 0, readiness completed, no, readiness not completed. It's not like this is based off an Android operating system, but keep in mind it's not as powerful as your phone, like as the latest phone. Like I'm using a S24, and the speed of this compared to the phone, it's much slower. For full function product, if not successful, perform that special function menu. Please use smart diagnosis or traditional diagnosis. Please go to special function or actuation test function for certain model to perform the procedure. Okay, the list of all the cars, but I'm just choosing BMW. Ignition is on. Also, one thing to note, when this is plugged into the car, it charges it at the same time. I can see it's busy charging via the OBD2 port, and therefore you don't need to have a separate cable to charge the device. The device has Wi-Fi as well. I think on the CRP123 there's a flash drive that you get with. I've seen on videos some people had a flash drive in their box, which they have to install on the computer or something like that, and then update this way. This connects directly to the internet and can download the modules or do the firmware update of the device. The CBS wheel recognition function has detected a faulty status on the rear axle. Please rectify this fault status using a CBS reset or CBS vehicle data correction function on the rear axle before proceeding to reset the front axle. I might have fixed it. As you can see, DTC is no longer showing. The handbrake warning light is still on, but the handbrake is on. So let's just check what happens if I clear the code. This is gonna take a while, so let's wait and see. Okay, so I put down the phone and I just got to tinkering a lot. Let me show you quick. Car is on. That one light is off, the traction light is off. So it's just the handbrake fault that's on now. I put the handbrake cable down. It's still giving an error. So let me just switch the car off so you can hear me. What I did was I went to read the fault codes and check out a few things, forums and stuff. There is two sensors in the wheel. The one is for the ABS and the one is for the breakaway sensor. So it's for the ABS sensor and the one is for the breakaway sensor. So what I did was because my breakaway sensor was missing, but the cable was still there. It looked like it just cut off, and I read that people that did burnouts, sorry my hand is in the way, people that maybe did a burnout or something would cause that sensor to pop out of the pad and then either damage or break off. So mine was missing, which means someone did a burnout before I bought the car. Because when I put my coilovers in, I saw that that sensor was gone, and I had the error since I bought the car, the traction control error. And then I just clipped it, and then I turned the two wires together. That I don't know what it does, but it cancels out the error or it bypasses the sensor. And the error was still on the dash, and then I done my steering control reset on the launch, and then the error disappeared. So the error is gone, so now I just need to sort out the handbrake, which could still be a sensor, the breakaway sensor. From the forums it says that the car have two breakaway sensors, one in the rear, the rear passenger, and one in the front driver. I took off the wheel on the rear passenger. There was no sensor, no cable, but like I mentioned, that the one sensor, or the driver's rear had two cables, one for the ABS and one for the sensor, which I bypassed by turning it together. So I just need to check the front. Yeah, so I got rid of that error, which is, I think, the traction control warning error. So now I can at least enable traction again, DTC. Let's see if I can. I think if DTC displays in traction is on, if it's off, then it's off. Let's just check. What happens if I hold it in? Okay, traction control off, traction control on. Cool, man. And I don't know if it's just off like that, if it's temporarily off or what. I'll need to check it out. Yeah, so my traction control is sorted. It's now just the brakes that needs to be fixed, which you can see as error. Brake pad way plausible in the rear and the front, so I need to get 2 sensors and then fix that.